everyone. My name is Courtney Laschkewitsch, and I'm the host of the Serial Inventing Podcast. Welcome to the introduction episode. Today, we will briefly discuss what this podcast is all about, what you can expect, and a bit about my background. Let's get into it.
Where inventing, passion, and hard work intersect. Welcome to the Serial Inventing Podcast. Bite-sized, perspective-altering episodes on serial inventing and beyond. From motivating key tips on product licensing to obstacle-busting conversations on transitioning to a full-time serial product developer. Buckle your seatbelt, because you're in for a ride. Warning, this podcast may motivate you to make wild decisions that will propel you forward in your inventing career and hijack more of your time for your passion. If you aren't ready to make it happen, then this podcast isn't for you.
When you have a product idea, such as a new dog toy or the next best vegetable cutter, there are two main ways you can go about commercializing it: venturing it and licensing it. Venturing an idea is when you manufacture the product yourself. So that includes samples, working with factories, meeting product regulations, gaining capital, creating an audience, and so much more. This takes an insane amount of time, money, and energy to bring a product to market through venturing, let alone trying to make it a successful product. The capital alone often needed to venture a product is a massive headache. Now, in relation to licensing, you might be familiar with music licensing or brand licensing before, where you rent your song, brand, or character to a company that they now get to use and sell, all while paying you a royalty fee, generating passive income. A licensee is someone who is finding various brands that they want to license, such as putting Nemo and Dory on their cup. They are therefore renting or licensing from Disney. So they pay Disney a royalty fee so they can use certain characters for certain products to sell. The licensor is the party who is renting out their brand to a company. In this case, Disney is the licensor, as they are the party who owns the characters. Often in character licensing, the licensee is the person who wants to place a brand on their product to maybe build a larger audience for their product or products. A cup might not sell with just a patterned graphic on it, but a SpongeBob cup? Now that's far more exciting to kids to get that cup and therefore sell more inventory. Product licensing is when you, as a person coming up with product ideas, is renting out your concept you thought of in exchange for a royalty and giving permission to the other party to be able to manufacture the product, all laid out in a licensing or royalty agreement. Talking about parties and royalty sounds pretty fun, huh? And it is, when you know what you're doing. When you have a lot of ideas you want to bring to market, and you don't want to go bankrupt right off the bat with that first product, or don't care to spend 24/7 on one particular product, then leaning into licensing is not only a good idea, it's a smart one. Those who have learned how product licensing works and have thoroughly learned the process for a couple years might want to learn how to speed up that process so you can get your ideas out there faster, developing relationships faster, and therefore getting licensing deals faster, which means more of your ideas on store shelves for the world to use. My definition of serial inventing is when you have many ideas you want to bring to market and you have the passion to do so, creating a work ethic to succeed. You are open-minded, willing to learn, are thorough in your market research, are professional when talking to companies, and don't make excuses. Now, this might describe you, or this might be where you would like to start walking towards. This podcast is dedicated to those who are or are looking to be serial inventors. If you are an artist as a hobby, and you want to start becoming a full-time artist as your job, that is a good comparison to what this podcast focuses on. Those who understand the basics of product licensing are already pitching ideas and want to go towards serialship. There are many dead ends when it comes to product licensing. Many people think protecting their product ideas immediately when it comes into their head is the first thing you do. Big mistake. The first step is to not hire a patent attorney, nor is it to hire a firm to make a prototype, or pitch a napkin sketch to a company. In this industry, it's very easy to spend regretfully dangerous amounts of money, countless hours, and an insane amount of energy running in circles. I am a coach at InventRight, which was co-founded by Stephen Key and Andrew Krauss. You might be familiar with one of Stephen's best-selling books, One Simple Idea. Our goal at InventRight is to teach you the steps of product licensing so you can do them in your sleep again and again on every product idea you have. We empower you with the knowledge to be successful and hold you accountable as your coach. Think of us coaches as a personal fitness trainer, but for product licensing. We're there with you the whole way, holding your hand through the process, sometimes even carrying you over the hurdles. We teach our students how to become professional product developers, aka professional inventors. Now, as an InventRight coach, I see many students come into the program already having made those mistakes aforementioned before joining. It's saddening to hear someone be so passionate about something, yet tired of not knowing what to do. However, at least they did something about their ideas. Just think of all of the people who have ideas and yet never do anything about them, ever. This podcast is essentially a resource for supporting serial inventors. If you have a product idea you want to license and you have never gone through the steps of product licensing before, well, then I would recommend getting some education on that first and seeing if product licensing is really for you. And if it is, and if you are committed, then I would recommend joining InventRight and getting a coach. Serial inventing comes much later. You have to learn how to draw and draw professionally before you can become a full-time artist. And if it resonates with you, well, then this podcast will be for you. Now, the product licensing industry is constantly changing, so please keep in mind that so will this podcast. Now, this podcast will be in a mainly monologue short-form format for several reasons. The majority of serial inventors or wannabes have incredibly busy lives, and we also don't have time to mull through fluff to get to the good stuff out of the information we do choose to take in with the time that we have. These episodes are not only short, but incredibly succinct, so if you just have a few minutes, you will be utilizing them to the fullest. Just don't forget to take notes, or come back to the episode to listen to again and again, or at a later time when the subject is more pertinent. I will be taking you on an exploratory interactive journey through the product licensing industry and beyond, and cannot wait to do it with you. Topics to be covered on this podcast include building relationships with potential licensees, overcoming physical, mental, and emotional hurdles throughout the process, speeding up the licensing process, learning your strengths and weaknesses, and when you should do the work or hire out, creativity, and so much more. I hope you will join me on this journey to uncover your true potential in product licensing and become the best version of you throughout the process. The next episode will be all about my own personal journey and how I got to where I am today. Thanks for tuning in and taking a few bites with me today. And remember, serial inventors don't make excuses. They make it happen. See you soon.